If you purchased a Chromebox attachment for your ViewBoard panel, there are a couple settings that need to be configured before you can start using it. These settings can't be configured from the admin console. So the first thing is that when you turn on your Chromebox, you'll notice that the resolution is really small. That's because the zoom is basically not enabled on the Chromebox and it's trying to push out that 4K resolution. So we're going to need to adjust that, and then we're also going to need to adjust the on-screen keyboard if you don't have an external keyboard. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to sign into the Chromebox so we can change the display settings. And in order to do that, we need to go down and find the clock in the bottom right corner. And we're going to touch that, and then we're going to see here that I can go to the keyboard. So you'll see there's a US keyboard on the side. If I touch that and choose that US keyboard and then make sure it's turned on under accessibility, so you can see here on-screen keyboard. Now I have a little check mark next to it. That's going to allow me to now type in the password so that I can log in. Again, this is if you don't have an external keyboard. I'm going to go ahead and just type mine in since I do have a keyboard here. We'll let it log me in. And again, kind of like before, you can tell and see that everything is super small. So we just want to adjust the zoom essentially. So follow me, go down here to the clock again, bottom right corner. We're going to touch that clock. Up in the top right corner, we're going to go to settings. So that's a little cogwheel. Over here on the left, you can see our settings menu. To get to the display settings, we're going to choose device. And then we're going to choose displays. Now there's a couple ways you can configure this. You can see here the resolution is on 4K. If we want to make everything bigger, we can drag the slider on the display size up to 200%. That keeps that 4K resolution but makes everything zoomed in so it's easier to see. Another way that you can configure this is instead of doing the zoom, you can actually set the resolution to 1080p. So you'll see there 1920 by 1080. Now what this is going to do is it decreases the resolution but gives you a higher refresh rate. A lot of times when you're doing hybrid or virtual learning, this gives you better performance than running the 4K. Make sure you also choose confirm to save your settings. Now that we have the resolution fixed, we won't have to touch this again. This resolution will stay on this Chromebox until someone else changes it later. Again, depending on your setup, you might want to add the on-screen keyboard as well. So to add the on-screen keyboard, go to the clock on the bottom right corner. Under accessibility, scroll down, make sure that on-screen keyboard is selected. Whenever you go to type somewhere, that on-screen keyboard will pop up. By default, the keyboard is in docked mode, so it fills up the whole bottom part of the screen that you see there. Right above the 7 is the dock mode or undock mode. So if you touch that, it turns into the floating keyboard, which then allows you to move it around. Really quickly, just a pro tip, the keyboard does use swipe technology as well. So instead of typing, if you want to practice swiping, you can always do that. Again, these are just a couple settings that you need to do manually. Everything else we'll talk about that can be configured in the admin dashboard, we're going to go and check out in the admin dashboard video.